Hi, I'm Adrian Clark, ShortList magazine style director, and today I thought I'd take you through the dilemma of shaving, which obviously a lot of men do, I clearly don't, on a daily basis. Shaving is going to be very traumatic on your skin, whatever you do, because at the end of the day, if you boil it down to what you're actually doing, you're taking a blade and you are cutting the hairs on your face, but obviously you're also going to be taking away layers of skin. So the only thing we can do is, with that in mind, make as many precautions as possible in making it as smooth and as clean as possible. I personally couldn't put enough emphasis on the two words prep and also on the tools that you use. Purely because, as in with anything like DIY or decorating, those two areas kind of form the basis and the foundations for everything else to come a lot more easier and a lot more of a professional finish at the end of the day. It's exactly the same rules with shaving. The first thing to remember when you're going to start to shave, so prepping the whole thing, is don't shave immediately after you wake up. You do need to give your skin a good half an hour at least to actually wake up, because it does alter from your sleep mode. Instead of shaving first before you go into the shower or the bath, I would actually recommend you do it the other way around, or even integrate it into the same regime. So shave in the shower or the bath, or immediately after you've done that, rather than before. The reason for this is the bristles on your hair are actually ridiculously strong. You wouldn't believe how strong. In fact, the hairs on your chin are actually stronger than copper wire, which has been proven. As long as you've had 3 to 4 minutes of high impact steam around this area, it will soften the bristles dramatically and you will get a completely different shave. The next prepping job that is really important is to cleanse the skin. It goes without saying, if you try to drive a car down a gritty road or doing any off-road driving, obviously it's going to be a lot more all over the place than it is if you're on a smooth road. It's exactly the same with your skin. You need to get rid of any impurities, any dead skin cells, any little bits and pieces that catch actually in the bristles of your beard. Best way of doing that is obviously just a facial cleanser or a facial bar. Try to avoid something with too much soap, because that will dry your skin out. Or even better, not to be used on a daily basis, so something like a face scrub, which will then get rid of dead skin cells and really will slough away any of the kind of impurities, so that it really will leave a smooth finish for you to be able to use. So once you're completely clean, your bristles are softened, then it's onto the tool that you use. Cannot stress highly enough that you must use a very, very sharp blade. Change it regularly. A lot of the actual razor manufacturers, such as Wilkinson Sword and Gillette, all have strips on them now which change colour. So for example, this one is blue at the moment at the top. It will change to white, telling you that its optimum shaving effect is diminishing. A slightly blunt blade obviously will pull on the hairs, it will stress the skin, it will cause nicks and cuts, it will also cause ingrown hairs, redness, irritation, all the things that you don't want. So a very, very sharp blade is important. The next thing to do is to actually obviously start shaving, and you are inundated with the amount of choices of things that you can use to do that. There are foams, there are creams, there are oils. Ultimately, they'll do the same thing. None is any better than the other. It just depends on what your personal tastes are and what you feel most comfortable with. A really important thing to mention as well is don't over put foam on. A lot of men think the more foam you put on, the closer the shave you're going to get, where ultimately the only area that you need to worry about is the exact skin surface and the blade surface, and how that touches each other and how that affects each other. Anything that's built up above that in foam is basically just wasted and will just be washed away. So the best thing to do is actually take some of it down, and the best way to do that is to use the back of the razor, so the bit that doesn't have the blade on it, and just take away some of the excess foam so that you have a thin layer of it. Make sure you put your blade under the hot water for at least 2 to 3 minutes, because that will clean the surface, but it will also blanch the surface of the blade, so that the hotter it is, the easier it is going to be to shave with. Always shave with the direction of your hairs, the direction that they're growing in. Rule of thumb is that that's usually downwards on your cheek and your chin, and upwards on your neck. Some people it's slightly different. The best way to do it is to fill with the bristles with your fingers before you start, and you will get a rough idea of which way the hairs are growing. As I say, always shave with, not against, because against can push the hairs back into the skin and cause ingrown hairs. And always shave in very long, smooth strokes. The smaller the stroke and the more jolted your action, the more easy it is going to be to just cut yourself. So try to do smooth, long strokes. Always start with the larger areas of your face first, leaving the more tricky areas around your nose, your moustache, around your mouth, underneath your mouth. Leave these areas to last, and then especially dedicate yourself to those, perhaps using slightly smaller strokes than the ones before, but obviously really concentrate on what you're doing there, because it can be quite dangerous. Once you've done it, I always recommend get a towel and put it under as hot water as you can stand, and put that into your skin, because that will help not only clear the bristles completely away from your face, obviously, but it's also going to help to seal your pores. What you then need to do is to protect your skin. It's very, very important. You have traumatized your skin. Regardless of all these tips I'm giving you to make it as smooth and as easy as possible, you will end up hurting your skin if you don't protect it afterwards and put some goodness back into it that's been stripped away. There are a lot of aftershave balms on the market. I personally love these Nivea ones because they come in all different they come in all different variants. So depending on what you want for your skin at the end of your shave, they do something that's particularly right for each of them. For example, they do ones for sensitive skin, they do ones that have a bracing kind of kickstart effect to your skin. They have ones that have Q10 in them, which is a coenzyme of creatine, which actually do help to rejuvenate the skin. Those are basically the main rules of normal wet shave. Obviously this doesn't apply to an electric shave, which is a very different thing. And again, a lot of people ask me, is an electric or a wet shave one better than the other? Again, neither is better than the other. It just depends on your personal taste. I hope some of those tips will actually help you to have a smoother and a calmer shave, because I do know a lot of men that do get a lot of skin irritation. It's purely by the way they're doing the job and not using the right products. If you do have any other grooming or fashion inquiries, or any other things that I may be able to help you with, please do tweet me at ShortList Mag, and I'll be more than happy to help. Thank you.